England start their campaign against Scotland on Tuesday at Kensington Oval in Barbados. Harry Brook, part of the England squad, he finished it off the other evening at the Oval, that a remarkable 6 over deep cover. He's been speaking to Henry Moran in Barbados.
Well, Harry, nice to be here and finally get ready for the action at the start of this World Cup. How are you feeling?
Yeah, buzzing to be here. Everybody else is buzzing to be here, so we're looking forward to getting going on Tuesday.
Ahead of the 50 over World Cup, there was so much talk about whether you'd be in the squad, whether you wouldn't be in the squad. It feels a lot more settled this time. Your role feels more settled.
Yeah, obviously we had the series against Pakistan there. I think we tried to go full out strength, and we had a little, obviously got washed out a couple of times, but we had a little almost warm-up games towards this game, this World Cup now, and hopefully we are a little bit more settled and we're ready to go on Tuesday.
For you personally, do you feel in this T20 side your role is more clear than it is in the 50 over side, or perhaps was in that 50 over World Cup?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I've always played in the middle order throughout my career, and come in and bat at 4, 5, 6. Well, probably 5 and 6 more likely, but and it feels a little bit more settled in this team here. Like I said, I'm looking forward to getting going on Tuesday, and hopefully I can win a few games for the lads.
Moeen spoke about T20 perhaps being a more comfortable format for this team, just because of the amount of T20 cricket you play. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I haven't played it as much as others over the last couple of months, but everybody's been the majority have been at the IPL, so they're all raring to go, and they've had a lot of cricket under the belt. So I think we're in a good place going into this World Cup.
You mentioned you've not played for a little while. How nice is it to be back in amongst the group after what, of course, has been such a tough couple of months? Yeah,
obviously, awesome to be back with England, and I really enjoyed my little stint with Yorkshire as well, having 5 games playing with some really close mates, and just trying to enjoy the cricket that I was playing.
Has it given you a chance perhaps just to sort of refocus after a real whirlwind 2 years really, breaking into the England side, IPL contract?
I think it was nice to have a little bit of a break. Obviously, not under great circumstances, but it was nice to get away from cricket for a while and concentrate on the family at that time, and then come, like I said, play for Yorkshire, and I was just raring to get back playing, to be honest. I was really looking forward to it, so it's good to be back here and back with the lads.
This England team, you can hear them in the background, they seem like a happy bunch of lads, and it feels like the team's in quite a good place despite a relative lack of time together before this tour.
Yeah, absolutely, and like I said, the Pakistan series is perfect to get back together, and unfortunately the weather ruined quite a lot of it, but it was good to get out there and back playing together again.
Scotland on Tuesday, I think people talk about a potential banana skin. How do you approach a game like that where you are such heavy favourites?
I think we're just going to prepare like we usually do. Personally, I'll talk personally, I'm just going to prepare like I would usually if I was playing against the best team in the world or the worst team in the world. So, I'm just going to prepare like I would any other game.
How do you prepare?
Just try and hit as many balls as I can and concentrate on what could be happening. Practice death hitting, practice facing spin, practice everything. Try and cover all aspects of what could happen.
Kieran Pollard as part of the coaching staff, what are you looking to get from him in terms of his knowledge?
Obviously he used to bat in a similar position to me, so try and listen to what he has to say about the pitches, about different situations in the games, and see how he went about it. Obviously speaking to him about the pitch is going to be quite a big one, obviously from being from here, so I'll try and pick his brains a bit.
That's Harry Brook in a windy Bridgetown, talking to Henry Moran, Roland Butcher and Geraint Jones alongside me. What about the influence of Kieran Pollard then? It's funny, isn't it? Just bringing in specialist coaches. Papua New Guinea have got Phil Simmons as their specialist coach. What can Kieran Pollard pass on, do you think, to the England players, Roland?
Well, I think obviously he's familiar with the conditions, and that's very important. A lot of the players perhaps haven't played a huge amount of cricket in the West Indies, so the different venues you play at as well, he can certainly tell you how those venues are going to play. Even though these pitches have been, in some cases, relayed, etc., I don't suspect that they will play any different to how they played before. So the knowledge of how they played he will be able to pass on, and that's important. Nepal has Roddy Eswick, who was the West Indies bowling coach. He's there with Monty Desai, who was the West Indies batting coach. Monty Desai is the head coach, and he's got Roddy Eswick as a fast bowling coach. I understand that Bravo is doing something with one of the sides as well. And it's important. Local knowledge is very, very important. And if you know the last World Cup, England were accused of not getting local knowledge, and they weren't going to make the same mistake this time.
What do you think the pitch is going to be like in Barbados?
I would like to feel that it's got a bit of pace and bounce, but what I've seen certainly the last few years, it hasn't been like that pace and bounce. I think the spinners have always had a pretty good time of it. It may be better the first couple of matches where there's a certain degree of grass on them, so they might perform a bit better than later on in the tournament. I hope by the time you get to the final in the Super 8 stage that the pitches are really dry and good for batting, and we get to see some good cricket.
Yeah. What about Harry Brook? Gareth, how much has he impressed you as an England player?
Oh, hugely. Right from the off, he's come in and he's looked like he belongs there, and he's had that recent time out, so he's going to come back into the side for this World Cup. But it's interesting to hear that he feels more settled in the T20 than he does a 50 over. But just as a young man who's burst onto the scene, and his power is extraordinary power, and we talk about England and their chances, and Harry Brook with that power coming in when he does, that's where you're taking your totals from maybe your 140s up to your 190s and really making the most of those last sort of 5 overs, going at a minimum of 10. And so his all-round skills are really impressive, and so it'd be good to watch him over this World Cup to see what he can produce.
Were you surprised at having struggled in the 50 over World Cup?
Yeah, it was. That was a bit of transition. Morgan coming out of the team, so the leadership that he showed. And so it's taken that little bit of time for them to find their feet, find their method of play with a few new players. And so you'd look on paper that they shouldn't have done that, but when teams change, there is a bit of unrest. And so now, hopefully, with this T20, they're a bit more settled, and the confidence they've got from previous wins, and the fact they're out there as a group. Pakistan series, yes, caught by rain, but especially that last win for me was really impressive, and going from that win straight out to the World Cup and getting into it would be great for the unit.
What are your thoughts on England, Roland?
Well, I think England have got a lot to prove. As you know, they were in the Caribbean last November.
And they lost the series then.
They lost the series. They didn't. I think the bowling unit was not as it should be. The likes of
Archer make a huge difference there,
and Mark Wood, I think, will make a huge difference to the bowling attack. But obviously, I think their strength is in the batting. They've got some explosive players. Phil Salt at the top of the order. But I think England, they've got to get off to a good start. If they get off to a good start and then they get the confidence, they could be a very dangerous side. But there's some good sides in this tournament. I think India not going to be easy. Australia not going to be easy. And as I said, one of those other teams, I just really fancy Sri Lanka being a bogey team for some of those big teams.